Babylon. Yeah, we sat down and we cried when we remembered Jerusalem. We were sick, Lord, near to dying. Oh, Jay.
It's on.
Hallelujah. Blessed be Yahweh our King, who has allowed us to return once again. Hoping and praying that all are well, that the Most High God continue to bless each and every one of us, Kobei Yisrael, scattered in the four corners of the earth. We pray that the Most High God will be with all of our people, wherever we might be scattered, whatever part of the world that Yahweh will continue to be with us and bless us. Hallelujah. My name is Uzi Alewi. I'm one of the teachers at Congregation BINAH, CHOKMAH, BINAH, better known as D.C.B. I'm thankful to this great King for my life, the life of all of you, all of the listening audience out there who tunes in to us on a weekly basis in order to hear the word of the Most High God. I'm thankful to the Creator for life, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All the things that He provides to us in life, and that the Most High God will continue to be with us wherever we are, that the Creator will continue to bless us and guide us and protect us. I hope that everyone had a beautiful Shabbat meal. I hope that you were filled with all the goodly things that God provides for us, and that you enjoyed your family time, or you're enjoying your family time as you're doing that. I know I'm coming on at 6:30 today. Well, a little bit after 6:30, but I'm here. If I could be heard clearly, please give me a 1 in the room. If I could be heard clearly, please give me a 1. Bavakusha. That's for everybody out there. It's a great day. It's a Shabbat day, and we should be glad and rejoice therein. I'm thankful to this great King for the holy Shabbat day. I'm thankful to the great King for everything that He does for us. As you can see, we're trying to improve things and trying to make things a little bit better, make things a little bit more sharper, trying to bring you a better image, trying to bring you something that looks presentable before the people, and first and foremost before the Creator. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thankful right now for life, and I'm thankful for all the things that the Most High God provide for me in my life, good and bad. As you can see, tonight's topic is Hanukkah, as we're still in the season of Hanukkah, which is an 8-day celebration, which started on last Yom Rishon in the night. Started on the second day of the week, and I'm thankful to the Creator for this season. Hanukkah means dedication or consecration. It's a time where our forefathers rededicated the temple that Solomon built in Jerusalem. Well, our forefathers rededicated it because the Seleucid Empire under the wicked Antiochus Epiphanes, they desecrated the temple by taking out all of the things that were holy. They put up there the desolation of consecration, I believe it's called, and they or the desolation of evil, which was a statue of Zeus, Olympus, in the holy temple, and they try to make everybody to follow the Greek religion or to be Hellenized. So at this point in history, as we left off last week, our esteemed elder, Matit Yahu, or Mattathias, as we know him, a Levite from the Hasmonean line, he took matters into his own hand and he slaughtered some of the king's officers, even slaughtered some Israelite that try to go contrary to the laws of the creator of heaven and earth, put them to death for trying to do their own thing in the sight of God's people, to lead God's people astray. And the result of that was that they had to end up moving into the mountains and moving into certain places. A group of what do you call them? Hasidims, or the pious ones, the ones that were dedicated to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They joined themselves unto them and began to move with them and enforcing the laws of God, because they had been Israelites during this period of time that began to just assimilate to Greek customs and to walk in the Greek ways. So Mattathias and his family and these zealots, as we will call them, or pious ones, came out and they began to circumcise babies and make people do the laws of God and not forsake the laws of God. So we're thankful to the Creator for what he does. I don't know what my son is doing. He's playing around still with the stuff, and it looks perfect already, but he just can't stop playing around with the background and making me disappear or making green stuff appear in the corner. But we'll give him a moment to gather his thoughts and get himself together. So, when we get to this period in time where these men are fighting and they're getting so involved to try to restore order, to try to restore the laws of God, sometimes you get people that, you had Israelites in those times that wanted to do the Greek thing. You had Israelites that turned their backs on God. You have those Israelites in every generation, but you always have a group of Israelites that always stand for what's right and stand for the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator, which is very important. In every generation, we got to have people that we call zealots, that are people that stand for what's right. They're not afraid to be ridiculed because they standing for what's right. Often there are people who are afraid to be ridiculed, so they don't open their mouths and say that, what you're doing is wrong or what you're saying is wrong. But we have to stand on the side of God all the time. I understand that there are some people that were brought up, even Israelites that were brought up with certain traditions, certain ways that they did things. And it's not a fault of your own, because it's the way you were brought up. If you were brought up receiving gifts on Hanukkah, that's the way you were brought up. That's the way your parents raised you up. If you were brought up with a Hanukkah bush on Hanukkah, you really knew no better. That's the way your parents brought you up. So when I make statements about, a Hanukkah bush is nothing but a Christmas tree with quote unquote Jewish symbols on it, is exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? And this is what, I don't do it to offend, but I do it so that you could gain understanding. Sometimes it comes across as rough, but do the research, do the background research, and try to find out exactly where these things stem from and where these things originate from. I don't try to offend you, but sometimes in the midst of telling the truth, you might offend people, and sometimes, when you get offended, people get defensive, but it's not to get defensive. It's to research and to try to find out whether or not what you're doing is right or wrong. And that's really the bottom line, So, Shabbat Shalom to everyone in the room. Thanking the Most High God for our lives. I don't want us to mix in our traditions, Because Hanukkah is a tradition that was set forth by the Hasmonean family, the Judas Maccabees and his Judas Maccabee and his brother, Judah Maccabee and his brother, and the people that were around it. They agreed to observe the days for 8 days, to have an observance for 8 days. So we observe it, but we don't want to mix our tradition and our culture with paganism and what's out there. You know, our forefathers, nowhere in the history is it written that they put up a tree and decorated it. You know, nowhere in the history does it say that they gave gifts. Even when you're looking at the European Jew, right? The European Jew didn't give their children Hanukkah presents until they came to this part of the world, right? And what the European did used to do is, in Europe, when they used to observe Hanukkah, what they did is that they did used to give their children coins, you know, money on Hanukkah, right? Gold coins and stuff of this nature, which they call geld. It's a Yiddish word which means geld, right? And today you see it, they don't give you gold coins or they don't give you money anymore. They give you like chocolate and a gold wrapper that looks like money, and that's what they give. That's as far as they went as giving you anything. But today, because of the big business that is Christmas and all these holidays that they try to push us to go out and do certain things, Christmas became so big because at some point Christmas was not big in America, but it became commercialized. And once you commercialize something, advertisers begin to control the minds of people by giving you illusions, by giving you commercials, by giving you, like right now, we're inundated with commercials, with toys and all these things. And our children want whatever it is, the new toy that's out right now, because it's the commercial. It programs you. They keep playing the commercials over and over and over again. No different with our children or with Jewish children who are observing this. When they see the commercials, they want these things. And what happened is that those Jewish parents began to conform and listen to their children and begin to follow what their children said and follow suit and begin to give their children presents on the eight days of Hanukkah. So Hanukkah really has nothing really to do with gift giving. Now, where we see gift giving is during the time of Purim, during the time of Esther, where people brought gifts one to another. They brought portions one to another. But Hanukkah was not really a day like that. It's more of a day of reflection, remembering, and giving thanks to the Creator of heaven and earth for the deliverance of the nation of Israel and the time that we were in. So, Shabbat Shalom to Adon Moshe Yisrael, Julie Figueira, Yemima Prescott, Chief Shama, Elazar, Shabbat Shalom, my brother, servants of Yahweh, Moradina Yisrael, Bathsheba Yisrael, Gershon Ben Israel, Tamika Yevra, and the House of Strength. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Big shout out to my brother Chief Shama. I went working out with him last Sunday and I haven't recovered yet, but I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to get in shape. I got kind of hurt for trying to overdo it. He's in excellent shape. He's if you need somebody to get you in shape, he's the brother to do it. So when I start getting in shape or whatever, we're going to start documenting some of those workouts and bring it to y'all. Maybe it be as an inspiration to y'all. That brother will be an inspiration to y'all, because surely he's an inspiration to me with the health and trying to stay in shape and so forth and so on. So thank you the Most High God for your life, my brother. Try to make it out there on Yom Rishon on Sunday once my shoulder recovers, and try to do this thing for real. Hallelujah. So getting back to the topic at hand. Oh, how y'all like the new background? It's a little bit sharper. we had to go out and invest on a real green screen. So that's why you see the image much sharper. It's clearer because we had to actually go out there and invest. These things, investments. You got to make investments if you want to make things look right. And once again, thanking the Most High God first and foremost, but thanking my son, my Ozia, for having the intuition and telling me, Abba, we could do this better, or we could be better, or we could look better, or we could progress. We could progress, which is a beautiful thing. I'm thankful to him for that. And that the Most High God blessed me with a son like that, who's stand here with his Abba and does all the things that he does and put forth the effort and does all the things. So as you can see, we got the menorah in the background, got the D.C.B logo. I don't know what mountains those are. Maybe it's Everett's. I don't know which mountains those are.
It's Maco's Heights here. It's a mountain.
Oh, so it's the Sierra Mountains, right?
I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. It's the Max Sierra Mountains. So I think they're mountains called Sierra Mountains. I could be wrong. But thankful to the Most High God for that. Thankful to the Most High God for my son. Once again, for all my children. Thank you to the Most High God for praying that the Most High God will keep them and bless them, cause them to know that He's God and God alone, and besides Him there is no other. Thank you to the Most High God for my newborn Amatzia, that the Most High God will bless her and continue to be with her and protect her. She's a bundle of joy, and she continues to just grow and make me laugh. Also, special prayer to I got some people here that I gotta pray for. If you need prayers, shoot me out a text at 347-622-9090. I think I'm gonna open up the lines today, and I think I'm gonna open up the lines today, and a special prayer shout out first and foremost for in behalf of our sister Kaya Baker. From she requested that we pray for her mother, for her father, and for her mother, Elder Alva and Judith Samuel Thomas. So our prayers go out to Elder Alva and Judith Samuel Thomas, that the Most High God be with Elder Alva, who's in the hospital, that the Most High God will protect them and guide them, and that He will guide the hands of the physician that are working on him, and that the Most High God will keep him. Hallelujah. Thanking the Most High God for all things and everything, for food, clothing, and shelter. Thanking him for this season. I had a conversation with my son about this season, and I told him to be honest. I told him to be honest to me, and I think I'm going to bring him up on camera. I'm going to bring him on camera soon so that we could talk about it publicly. We could talk about it publicly, because if we got children out there listening, your children might be going through this, and it's okay. We live in a society where everything is being shown to them. Everything. One thing that they do with this season is, especially now that we're getting into what we call the silly season or the Christmas season, is that they attract the children with lights. So if you live in a neighborhood where people really get into the spirit of Xmas, everybody hangs up lights. My neighborhood, nobody really, where I live at, nobody, it's a bunch of people from like the Caribbean islands and stuff like that. For some reason, they're not into, a lot of people around here are not into it. I don't see too many, right, Miles? Here, we don't see too many lights around here, do we?
No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I think that they celebrate Xmas, but they not into the whole decorating the homes and putting lights all around the home and putting decorations. In my neighborhood, they're not really like that. You might see like a house or two with the Xmas lights on the windows, right? But then after that, you might not see. You don't see much more. You don't see mangers out here. You don't see much of that stuff out there. So, but you might live in an area, in a neighborhood where a lot of people are into that. You know, people are into it. People love it. People like doing it. And your children see this all the time during this season. Needless to say that, and yes, it is a Rosh Kodesh. Thanking the Most High God for Rosh Kodesh will come in tomorrow night, right? Rosh Kodesh will be tomorrow night. So thanking the Most High God for the Rosh Kodesh, well, which is we in that season anyway. So that means a new moon or a new month. But yeah, you know, with your children, getting back to the topic, your children might be in that Torah, 70 Collins and everybody who's complimenting in the background. So, it gets to a point where, you see certain things and our children are well entrenched in society. Don't think, by any chance that your children don't see what's going on around them and don't think about it and don't feel like, man, I wish I had Xmas, or I wish I had this, I wish I had that. They have those feelings, when they go to school and they having the Xmas parties and they have to sit to the side because they go to public school and everybody else is celebrating Xmas, but they're left out. They feel a way about it. You know what I mean? And it's natural because they're children. It's natural because they're children. So, and it's not for us to get upset or get mad at them. I told you that we don't celebrate. Man, gifts is being passed around. Everybody look like they having fun. You best to believe that your child is going to, and some might fall victim, but you have to do talking. You have to communicate and talk to them and let them understand what is it that's going on. They give them coloring papers with Rudolph and Santa and all these things that's going around. And no matter how many times you tell the teacher, sometimes the teacher really don't remember. And you got teachers that make it their effort to separate, or a lot of times what we used to do is when the children were going, there was going to be an Xmas party or whatever, we just left them out of school that day. We just told the teacher today is not going to be the day where we're going to send them, and try to separate them. The best thing overall is to have your own community and to totally separate your children from that, because if you go into the Hasidic communities, the Jewish communities, period, that they have their community, on Xmas Day, their kids are going to school because they don't celebrate Xmas. They don't celebrate the American New Year. They go to school. That is truly gaining control of who you are. Now you do have a lot of Jews that are conservatives, and you got a lot of people or a lot of Israelites that become conservative, not conservative, liberal or reformists. I mixed up the words. That become like Reformed Jews, and they accept everything. Certain parts of Reformed Judaism, they accept homosexuality. Now we know that homosexuality is contrary to what God said, and God does not accept in His book homosexuality. But and this I forgot the word that I just used. In Reform Judaism, they accept all these things. So there are a lot of people who maybe grew up Jewish and then they began to live in regular communities. They moved out of the communities, but they're still Jewish. Or you got Israelites also that live a certain way or began to live a certain way, or marry someone that really doesn't keep Torah. They respect you, but really don't keep Torah. But when these times come, they continue in their celebration. And if you begin to have children, that could become a dilemma. When you have children, that could become a dilemma, because maybe the significant other wants to take the children to to the parents' house, to their parents' house during this time, and you know what goes on, and so forth and so on. So those are the things that we got to watch out for. So I'm going to read a story, right? I read this from a Jewish publication, but I want you to concentrate on the story. All right, you're going to hear names, you're going to hear certain things. I get it. We're not Jewish. I know it. Some of us sometimes, we go hard, but I just want you to get the gist of what the story said. I'm going to maybe ask some questions. Then I'm going to bring in my son later so we can have a discussion, an open discussion about what he felt about during this season. So just bear with me. I just want to read this story, and I want y'all, then maybe I'll take some calls and y'all could give me your opinions on it. So this is from the New York Jewish Week. The name of the publication. And also the Times of Israel, but it's coming from the New York Jewish Week. And it reads, no such thing, the title is No Such Thing as a Hanukkah Bush. Excuse me. We're the only Jews in Pennypack Woods, PA. We exchange gifts on Christmas with our neighbors and each other, but I've never had decorations that look or smell like Christmas, except once when I'm 5. When I'm 5. So this is the author writing about what's happening here. Can we please have a Christmas tree, Mommy? I sobbed. I'm the only one in our whole neighborhood without a Christmas, and I feel so left out. We don't have any holiday, and Christmas is so beautiful. My parents finally exchanged that look. Okay, we'll have a tree, a Hanukkah bush, and Nana and Pop must never know. Nana and Pop are Grandma and Grandpa. Oh, thank you. I'll never tell, never. When I hug her, she's stiff and her heart's beating fast. So this is the little girl narrating, how her mother's feeling. She's stiff and her heart is beating real fast because the nervousness sets in, right? It's something you never done. Never had a Christmas tree in your house. That night, my father brings home a fluffy tree and sets it up in our living room. He uses cardboard, scissors, and tin foil to make a shiny 6-pointed star for the top. It's a Star of David, a Jewish star. I have no idea what he means. My mother and I string popcorn cranberry chains for trimming. I prick my fingers so often they start to bleed, but I don't complain. We have a tree, a real tree. Stand by its strand. We add tinsel, then stand back to admire our creation with sheepish satisfaction. What about colored lights or candles? I asked. I've studied Christmas trees in people's windows and in magazines and Coca-Cola ads. Do you want to burn down the house? My mother says, grabbing my arm. Remember, my father will never forgive me if he even suspects we did this for you, understand? I answer yes. I tried to be happy about my sparkly Hanukkah bush, but I feel uneasy. I thought it would turn us into a happy family like the ones on Christmas cards. Instead, we are still ourselves, a little happy and kind of sad and worried. And my tree is becoming a magnet for guilt, a reminder of my selfishness. On Sunday afternoon, the worst happens. A peek through the upstairs curtains reveals Pop's shiny gray Chrysler unexpectedly pulling up outside. He paces impatiently on our doorstep, waiting for an answer to his loud knocks. Oh my God, my mother moans, her father white as Slicker. Oh my God, my mother moans, her face white as our walls. Pearl, keep them busy at the front door, my father says. Ellen, help me. We clatter downstairs. Daddy quickly drags the tree outside where we burn trash. Ellen, quick, brush away tinsel, the pine needles. I pause to rescue the tinfoil star on the ground and hide it inside my flannel shirt. I race inside trying to pick up hundreds of bits of tinsel and fragrant pine needles. It's hopeless. The smell of evergreen will reveal our secret even to the blind. My muscular grandfather walks into the living room. What did you do? He rages at my mother. She shrinks before him like a child. My beautiful Nana hides behind her, wringing her hands, muttering in Yiddish. Pop, pop, puffs up with rage. It was a Hanukkah bush. We did it for Ellen, my mother whispers. She was jealous of the other children. I hated to see her suffer. So, she's jealous. She's suffering. There is no such thing as a Hanukkah bush. You just confuse the child. She's a Jew and Jews don't have Christmas. Make her Hanukkah like a real Jewish mother and she won't be jealous. It had a Jewish star on top, I say, holding it out. Pooh, proclaims my grandfather, practically dancing with rage, Meshuggah, crazy. Meshuggah means crazy. My father enters the kitchen, bringing a whiff of smoke. I know our tree is now burning like any other trash. That's why we came today to bring Hanukkah, Nana says timidly, still behind my mother. She shows us her bulging carryall. Maybe we can have tea and the cookies I bake. No tea, no cookies, Sarah. We leave now. Get into the machine. He grabs the bag from her, and we don't leave no presents, not one. Ben, how about a little schnapps first? My father asks, while Pop Pop pulls Nana towards the door. Pooh, we don't eat in no house with no Hanukkah bush. Doesn't even keep kosher. He spits the words at my mother, then walks out the door. So basically, that's what I wanna leave it. So, what do you think of that story? Right? What are some of the main components of that story? What happened there? What happened with that story? Give me a call, 347-622-9090. Right? What happened in that story? What are some of the components and some of the things that you could decipher from that story? Now, I know it's not, I don't want to hear, oh, those are not Israelites. I get it. I'm just trying to have a little conversation and see what you get out of it. (347-622-9090). That's for everybody. Let's talk about it. So there are a few elements here, right? The parents, first off, the first thing that they did wrong was they were exchanging gifts with their neighbors initially. Christmas gifts. They were giving them Christmas gifts, right? Oh, here go Moradina. I knew she would call first. Shabbat Shalom, Moradina.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm just calling in.
Hallelujah.
You can stick the phone on the table.
And hallelujah. What I got out of it is that we shouldn't change our traditions for any people.
Right.
The Most High said that we're unique people. We're supposed to be separated from the nations surrounding us. So what happens with these people is they gave up the law to please their daughter. So you turn your back on the Most High's law for a child's desire.
Right.
That makes you a sellout.
Right.
That's not acceptable.
Right.
That's not acceptable. Faith sometimes makes you look like a fool. Okay? Because people don't understand that. You think about Noah. He's building an ark on dry land. He looked like a fool. We have to have faith that the Most High is going to guide us and bless our ways if we keep His law.
Right.
And so what I got out of it is, you give up the Most High, I'm giving up you. You follow Torah, no matter who you are, I'm following you.
What do you think about the grandfather's rage?
I believe he had every right to be angry.
All right, I get that point. He's going to be angry. But why do you think What do you think of some of the things he was angry about? What do you think was going through his mind, Mora? Like
that his daughter changed to please her child rather than to please the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You gave up Torah so that your daughter wouldn't feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
We're supposed to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's how we get our blessing.
Right. Great.
And so he was absolutely right. You're not even eating kosher.
Right.
A Hanukkah bush.
Right.
Hanukkah is supposed to be rededicating of the temple, not rededicating that your child gets presents or that you get presents.
Right.
That's not what it's about.
Right.
That's not what it's about. So the whole thing with me was they were giving up Torah to make their daughter comfortable. And you're back on the Most High so that my daughter would be happy. No way.
Right. Hallelujah. Torah Mora. I appreciate it.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay. I put the number up on the chat 347-622-9090. I know this is a hot topic. You might get a call going the other side. You know, I know there's some people who and I want to open the dialogue because I know there's some people that feel on the other side that, you know, is this way or that way, but that's why I want to open the dialogue because sometimes when I teach so strong and so hard that you might get offended. But like I said, I don't do it to offend you. I do it so that we could get understanding, you know. So this is your opportunity now, 347-6. See, here they come. This is a number that I don't even recognize. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. You gotta mute the computer in the background of the TV.
Oh, okay, hold on.
It's this way, that way, but that's why we're open the dialogue because. All right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Who am I speaking to?
This is Gavira Yerusha.
Hey, how you doing, Gavira Yerusha?
I'm doing well. How are you?
How is Adon doing?
He's doing well, too.
Hallelujah. Great.
Yes. I'm calling in because the add-on to what Gavira Dina said.
Right.
I think that the father was angry because it started before the child.
Okay.
It started with them exchanging gifts with neighbors and not eating kosher and not keeping their house in the way that he brought his child up.
Right.
So he saw all these changes happening, and maybe he wasn't saying something, you know, because it was like little things that he saw, but he wasn't always there because he had to see this before Hanukkah.
Right.
So, and then this was like the last straw.
It was like the last straw.
You was brought up in a Jewish home doing Jewish things, and now here you are giving in to a child.
Right.
And you was taught totally different.
Right.
And I think that just like he said too, was something you said about here we brought Hanukkah so that she wouldn't, you know, she would understand her own tradition.
Right.
And she wouldn't be jealous of somebody else's things. And that was one of the things that we always at this time tried to tell our children was we talked about Hanukkah, and we talk also to them about you're not missing out on anything. What are you missing in your life? What do they have that you don't have?
Right.
So in that respect, they could always say, you know, I'm not missing out on anything. We have all the same toys. We have all the same things. You got it maybe for your birthday or something else in your life. You know, you did good in school and you got good grades or what have you. So we have to reiterate these different things to our children so they understand that, first of all, that is not our culture. Yes, it looks pretty.
Right.
Yes, the lights are bright and they're attractive, but that is not our culture. And if we constantly make them understand, they get past that.
They get past it, okay.
Yes, because they are children, but the children grow up.
Right.
and they start to see what you say, and they get past it. And I definitely used to talk about it being commercial. I said, they don't even know what they're doing. They celebrate a tree and a little fat man coming down off a roof. They're not celebrating what it's supposed to be for them.
Okay.
They're really just celebrating getting gifts.
Getting gifts, right.
So
became commercialized.
Yes, it became so commercial. And I would tell my children, I said, they're supposed to be celebrating their God's birthday crap or whatever. So I didn't mean it like, but I said, they don't celebrate that. They're celebrating getting gifts.
Right.
So, I mean, I constantly, me and, their father would constantly explain this to them. And I never let them go around, like you said, go around the family.
Right.
Because that also adds to it. My family would get mad. Okay, get mad, but you'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
They can't go around them during that time. I had on my mother's side, my grandmother or aunts and whatnot. Well, we just want the kids to they can get together in the beginning of next year, or they can get together before your holiday, or whatever the case may be. There's always a time. Right. But when we start giving in to little things, those little things grow. They
grow. And that's what happened.
They steadily grow.
And that's what happened in that story, because when you read it, it was a progression. They started exchanging Christmas gifts with the neighbors. But we never had an Xmas tree, but it's almost like the parents who were Jewish, because the mother and father were Jewish, right? But it's almost like they had their own little, I want to try it out because I've never done it. You get what I'm saying? It's like,
I just want to fit in kind of thing.
Right, I just want to fit in type of thing. And
when you allow that to happen, I'm sorry, they used to call me sometime the Grinch. Not that I was being a Grinch for everything at work or whatever, because I made them understand everybody doesn't do this.
Right.
Everybody does it, and every year you have the same thing. The parents, they beat you down too. Oh, you're not coming to the Christmas party. Oh, you're not. It's a holiday party. We're not going to have a Christmas party. We're having a holiday party. It does Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and okay, good for you. But I'm not coming to your party. Right. And all of these things. So they continue to beat you down, but you have to be strong. Like you said something about some parents would keep their kids home. I was one of those parents that was always at the school. Right. Like I would take off, and their school had other kids that were what do you call them? 7-day Adventist. Right. What do you call those other people? The Russellites. I forgot what their name is now. Jehovah's Witness. Right. Okay, so these children also didn't celebrate those things. So we parents made it our business. Those that didn't, we had a class that we took when they was having their parties and their parades and whatnot. Right. Our children was in there doing projects. We would let them there would be a couple of parents there with them, along with maybe a teacher, and they would do other projects that had to do with something else, had nothing to do with those times. We were there for the Halloween thing, and for some of the other, things, because they would do these big parades and pageants. So somebody had to be there, because I told them my kids can't do this. My kids can't sing the Xmas songs, and they can't, and they went to a very small school. Fortunately for me, that we were able to be, they liked a lot of parent participation. Right. So they were always asking for somebody to come help do something. Right. So that's where I was blessed in the sense of my children growing up, and just every time they came at me with something, I had a good answer for them, or I would come at them and make them understand we don't do this. And we also would talk about what Hanukkah was. Like you said, the story of the Maccabees, the story of and when we dedicated something, we dedicated it to the temple.
That's right.
If you wanted to give a gift, we gave some curtains, a new chair, or something. we dedicating it to the house of the Most High,
right.
not to I'm giving you a present and you getting presents and we
right.
doing all of this kind of stuff.
Which is more in line with what that time was, which was a rededication of the temple. So
yes.
if you're giving something to the house of the Most High, or where we worship the Most High God, will be more in line with what we are celebrating, rather than trying to bring in something that's pagan, because that's how
yes.
you disguise it. You're trying to disguise it, but it really has nothing to do with the season. So definitely something that we could keep in mind and also understand. Yes.
Yes, and make the children understand so that they don't have those feelings that,
right.
They're missing out, or their parents don't do what these other parents do, because I politely let mine know you're not missing a thing.
Right.
They had everything that normal, any other child got when you gave them a present. You're not getting it for these different holidays.
Right.
But do good in school and you got a present. Right. Bring me A's and you,
right.
Stuff like that.
Right.
So,
right.
Torah.
Hallelujah. Torah, Ima, I appreciate it.
All right.
Shalom. There you have it, There you have it, Hey, you got people that's been through this battle, that's been through this thing and that understand and that know and that know that, the ups and downs. Hey, Shalom, Hima Havared, how you doing? Good to see you in the room. You know what that number is, 347-622-9090. And I just want to read something real quick right here. It says, this is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, a babe is their master, and women rule over them. O my people, they that lead thee, cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. So, hold on for a second. Hold on. Shabbat Shalom, who am I speaking
Shabbat Shalom,
to?
brother.
Shabbat Shalom, who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Robert in Gainesville, Florida. How are you? Pleasure to meet you all.
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. Just a commentary on that story that you read. I'm new to this walk, and I'm teaching my family along the way, and we've just incorporating the Shema into our daily life.
Right.
And there's Shema verse 7, and this is why the grandfather was upset, because it says, teach these words diligently to your children.
Right.
And as a father, you've taught this to your children. And as I was telling my son this morning, man, when you have your children, then you teach this to your children. And then that's my seed, that's the seed of the Father coming to me, and then that seed passes from me to you and from you on.
Right.
So that's what we expect as fathers, to carry that seed on. So when you're a father, you walk into your child's house, and you see these things that you did not teach them.
Right.
And, it's like, man, I've given you all of the tools that Yah gave to me.
Right.
And so I look for you to carry that seed forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why he was upset.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. and like they say, he huffed and puffed because it's the whole. It's like you said, you taught your children a certain way. And it's like they took what you taught them and they balled it up like a piece of paper and just threw it in the garbage. Like everything that I poured my heart out, everything that I put my heart and soul to, it's like you telling me that you listen to your daughter, and then in the story, she throws the 5-year-old daughter underneath the bus. She's so scared that she's throwing a 5-year-old daughter underneath the bus. And it's like, hold on. The father's like, I don't want to hear that. Like, it's you. You can't tell me that a child is jealous. You can't tell me that a child feels this way or feels that way. Children go through all types of different emotions. It's you. And that's why I said they wanted to celebrate Xmas. They wanted to have an Xmas tree because they were enamored by it. Maybe when they were younger, they seen the lights, and now they living in the world and they figure like we could just blend in or we don't have to be the odd couple out. But the thing about this is that as Israel, we always going to be like the willow amongst the grass. We always gonna stand out. You know what I'm saying? And that's is the point of this me reading this thing, that we're gonna be like the willow amongst the grass. We're always gonna stand out, and we're not gonna be like anybody else. Go ahead, my brother. You can proceed if you have something else to say.
Yeah, brother, and I just want to say, man, that you guys have been a blessing to me in my life. And you know, your light for me is shining on my job to people when they're asking me. They see this difference in me. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't try to perfect anything. I don't do that. I just live my life, and I try to live my life according to Torah. Right. You know, and I'm to inspire my family to be the same way, and trying to inspire others. Listen, this is what Torah is, and this is how we live Torah, and this is what the words are. I don't have to make it for you. Just read it for yourself. And I think that in the story, this is what the father was. He's like, listen, Yah gave us. He delivered us from Egypt. He delivered us from whatever he had been going through. And for him, you've turned your back on Yah for something that's not even used. That doesn't belong to you. You know? Hallelujah. And so, brother, I'm going to close with that. And I really appreciate y'all, man. And thank you so very much for letting me have my voice tonight.
Thank you, my brother. Hallelujah. There you have it. So, you know, most of you get the gist of the story. You understand what's going on and what you see in it, you know. And that's what it's about. We have to stand firm in what we know to be true. You know, when Judas Maccabees and his brothers, and before that Matityahu, his father, Mattathias, he understood the road that the people was going down, so they were willing to give up their lives. They gave their lives for the struggle, you know, and we shouldn't relinquish that. So when I speak and I sound harsh, I'm just a product of my teachers. That's how my teachers taught me. So I know, you know, sometimes you got to modify how you say certain things because we come from a different school. All right, we got Sister Edna calling. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Edna.
Shabbat Shalom, Chief. Chief, Shalom, I'm calling because I'm a little confused. I'm kind of having trouble with this because I know that this is something that we don't celebrate, but just this week I've been watching Israelites that I know on Facebook having parties and exchanging gifts and lighting candles. So why is it some of us do it and some of us don't?
Because it's like I explained earlier, right? There's certain people that follow the traditions, right? That follow the traditions, that did certain things certain ways. That's why when I started out, I started saying that there are people that grew up certain ways, right? They grew up certain ways with the candle lighting. They grew up certain ways with exchanging gifts on Hanukkah. That's how they were brought up. That's how they celebrate this from when they were young, you know. And sometimes you need somebody just to let them know, hey, you might need to double check and think about the things that you do. Now, to have a party, there's really nothing with a party. I don't really see anything wrong with it because some people have a party to remember. A party could be here, no there. You understand what I'm saying? We can have a Purim party. A party is not really, but it's the traditions and the things that we adopt to try to add to this season and to this time. You understand what I'm saying? So even like during Hanukkah, to have a party is not really like such big of a deal because you just remembering the time. But the other stuff, the gift giving and the other stuff, that's like people have their traditions. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't knock certain traditions, but when the tradition begins to impose or begins to to be because you are trying to compensate from one thing to another, then that's when it becomes, you bordering on that paganism, because the tradition of the gift giving and doing all that stuff, that's more so the parents knowing that Xmas is around this time and giving their kids gifts so that it could kind of balance out the whole Xmas season and that their kids don't feel left out. You understand what I'm saying? So people have different traditions. Some traditions are different than others. I don't knock people traditions. People have their traditions. It don't necessarily mean that it's wrong. People have developed certain traditions through years. But when you start putting certain things, and we also have to remember that Hanukkah is not a time appointed by the Creator. You know what I mean? The Most High God didn't appoint this time. Our forefathers did it. They said we're going to remember this from year to year, and we're going to celebrate it for 8 days, right? So that's what we remember, right? We remember that season and that time. So some people might have a party. Some people might just enjoy the time together just to remember it. You know what I'm saying? But the exchanging gifts, the Hanukkah bush and all that stuff is a whole nother thing. You understand what I'm saying, Sister Edna?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right.
Okay, Torah.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Hallelujah. So, where are we now? Anybody else, if you want to, I wanted to have a segment bringing my son in so we could, but I don't think he really feels up to it. You feel up to it?
I don't care.
I don't like your body language right now.
Why?
You're like stretching and going crazy over there.
Oh, no.
All right. So, I guess if nobody else is calling in, then we could kind of do that. So I brought that just from a parent's perspective, from a child's perspective. Understand that when you begin to go outside of the circle of the realm of what you were brought up to be or how you were brought up to be, that becomes is my Havaret still in blue over there on that computer?
Am I Havaret?
Yeah. I don't see her in blue over here as a admin. I'm not sure. Is it because I'm... She should be in there.
She's not.
I don't see her in blue. I don't know if she got knocked.
She isn't in here.
Yeah, she is. I see her. She's not in the room anymore?
I don't see the profile picture. I don't see the name.
All right. I thought she was in there.
Oh, she isn't.
So, maybe she just stepped out. I thought I seen her in there. Yeah, so there she go.
Oh.
I thought I seen her in there last week. I just wanted to make sure you was okay, Ima.
Oh, for some reason it didn't show the moderation thingy.
Yeah.
Last time I saw her.
I don't know, some reason she got knocked off from being a moderator. Because now it's coming up in blue. Right. All right, Ima, we got you back up. I don't know what happened. Somehow you got like knocked off from being a moderator. Shabbat Shalom, Ima, Alicia Dai. So, Miles, are you ready? You want to step into the frame? Don't be afraid. We're going to shift this over a little. I don't know how it's going to look. Hopefully, I got my little monitor right here. Maybe it looks good. So at first it's gonna look a little crazy, maybe, but I'm gonna move over a little. We're gonna have a dialogue with the guy, with the young guy, Maozia.
All right.
So how you doing, Maozia?
I'm doing.
You gotta have better body language than that. You can't sit there slumped and looking crazy.
What?
You gotta sit straight up. You can't put your hands on your head like that. Yeah.
I'm just relaxed. Right. Okay.
So I got my son here, Maozia. He's coming into the picture. I'm just looking at the playback right now. If around his neck looks crazy, it's because he got green on. So if his neck disappears, like that little band around his neck, it's because he's not supposed to have green on because it's a green screen. So
yes.
So I have here Maozia, my son. For those of you that might not know him, this is the guy who produces all the magic, who gives me the background, who I'm always fighting with every Shabbat. You know, whenever I'm doing technical, I separate farther from when he's when we doing technical work, because I know I could be on him, and sometimes he has to he's very respectful. First of all, he never disrespects me, but I give him leeway when we working technically. Sometimes he gets frustrated with me and be like, but I got it. You know, he screams at me, but I never take it personal because I know I put a lot of pressure on him, and he doesn't disrespect me at all. You know, in the house, when it comes to father and son things, he doesn't disrespect me. And so I was having a conversation with him earlier, and we were talking about this season, the Xmas season, and I asked him. I said, "Be honest with me." I said, "Did you ever?" And I'm gonna ask him. I said, "Did you ever at any time miss or wanted to do Xmas?" Just be honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
Wow.
It's hard to remember, but I do remember one instance where in one of my old schools we had this day, like this night, like this school day, where one day like we just went into the basically the big open area, like the gym basically.
Right.
And they were like giving out gifts to everyone, and I was stuck there, not getting anything. And I guess I felt a little bit left out. Like I was like, oh, look at all these kids getting all this cool stuff. I'm just being left out. I mean, at the time, obviously, as you can tell, I was already taught that I can't celebrate Christmas.
Right.
And I felt a bit jealous, but eventually I got over it. I didn't really think much of it because, to be honest, if it wasn't for like my birthday being in December, I probably would have felt even worse back then. Like I probably would have felt very left out. But as you know, my birthday is in December, so I don't worry too much. But even if my birthday wasn't in December, I'm very laid back, so I don't really care like what anybody does, as long as it isn't harmful. I don't care.
All right. So did you ever get attracted like by? Now this coming from a child's perspective, so that's why I brought him into the picture, because listen, I could lose a child to the world. Anybody could lose a child to the world. Before you know it, you have a child out there that's doing Xmas, that's doing all these things because they never did it and they felt like you oppressed them or something. But I'm asking him, I'm like, what about the lights and stuff like that? When you used to see, like when we used to drive around places, did that give you some type of like attraction, or you felt like, wow, I wish I had lights all over my house?
First of all, I even when I was young, I was like, I didn't really think much of them. Like, I was just like, no, these people just like to celebrate Christmas a lot. Like, I never really had a thought shoot through my mind like, oh, We should waste money on some lights that will probably just stay there for like a few days and then take them off and go through the whole hassle of wrapping it around the house or something.
Right.
But
because they can't hear you that clear, except for you to speak up a little.
Look like a fool. I was never really attracted by the lights. I mean, I know it'd probably be different for some other children. Maybe it's just because of the way how I was brought up. I don't really have any kind of thoughts about Christmas. I'm just like, whatever. I don't want to spoil these people's fun. I don't want to do anything. Right. So I'm just like, whatever. At least I get some sales.
Okay, so you basically, because your birthday is in December the 18th, you feel like, but you say even if your birthday wasn't in December,
I probably wouldn't.
His birthday is December 18th, by the way, and I prayed. I'll tell you a funny story. There was a brother, and I kept teasing him because his wife at that time was pregnant, and I kept going on him like, your daughter gonna be born December 25th. Oh, we gonna have fun on you. We gonna laugh. Just being who we are. We always have jokes and stuff like that. And sure enough, his daughter was born December 25th. Or his child. We didn't know it was a daughter at the time, but his child was born December 25th. So I was like, wow. As a joke, it actually turned out to happen. Then this guy was coming, and his due date was December. He was between, like, how they give you that 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. He could have fell anywhere in between that. And that brother was like, boy, you laughed at me, but now it's coming back to you. And I kept praying, please don't let him be born December 25th. And he came December 18th, so that was I really enjoyed that. But if he would have been born the 25th, it's still my child. I love him, and he would have gotten his birthday present. You know what I'm saying? It's just, if you don't, the reason why I brought him is if you don't teach them that, most of the times they're going to fall back on the teachings that you gave them. And if we make our holy days to be joyous, then they have nothing to miss. If we celebrate our holy seasons the way we're supposed to, then we don't have to worry about those things. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High God will provide for us. He will look out for us. He will be there for us. So those are the things that we have to keep in mind. We have our own holy days and our own times that we do. If we look at Solomon, right? Sometimes we let things take us away from things in trying to conform to certain things. If we look at King Solomon, Melech Shlomo, right? They said that the wives that he had, right, they took away his heart from serving God, and he began to build houses of worship. He built a house of worship for the daughter of Pharaoh, right? And who they were worshiping? Osiris. They're worshiping all these different Egyptian gods. You know what I'm saying? And Solomon conformed to that. We can't conform to things, because when we begin to conform to different things, then it takes us away from the Most High God. Now, I'm not perfect. Y'all are not perfect, but there's certain things and certain parameters that we don't cross, right? There's certain things that we're supposed to keep up. Some of us have traditions. Nothing wrong with tradition. When tradition becomes wrong, it's when it begins to oppose Torah, it begins to supersede Torah. Nothing is supposed to supersede Torah. All right? Thank you, buddy. That's all I needed before. You can move your chair with you. And I can center myself again. All right. shift back in the middle. So he can't, as you can see, he can't stand still. So I gotta get him out the frame quick. Can you give me something to drink, please? All right, so yeah. So that's where we at with it. All right. So don't be offended. Just understand what I'm trying to say. Many of you, like Sister Edna, she called and she said, you know, I'm seeing all these different peoples and they doing these things, and this is why we teach it. This is why my teachers taught it. This is why, like my teachers, like Chief Amos, Chief Elazar, and all these teachers, they taught it the way that they did. That fire and that fervor, talking against these days and really like hammering down on it. That was Chief Elazar who used to teach that way. So we get a little bit of that spirit. So when we bring the hammer down, we bring it down. You know what I mean? We bring it down. So that's what we do. And it might sound, and some people might take offense to it, but I don't mean to offend you, but I mean to edify you and to make you understand. Yeah, because, you know, the reason why I used the real life scenario, because I wanted it to resonate. I wanted it to resonate with people. Although Torah is real life and events that happen, sometimes we look at it as a book that's just bigger than what it is. But when we look at Torah, right? If King David was alive and he would have saw Solomon building houses of worship for Osiris and the daughter and all these other daughters, how do you think King David would have felt? What do you think Solomon would have happened to Solomon? You know? Let's see who's calling here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You gotta mute your phone.
Mute my phone?
No, not your phone. Your the computer.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm hearing it in the background.
But how, okay.
Turn down the volume completely.
All right, I just paused it.
All right. So who am I speaking to?
This is Deborah Mac.
Hey, I didn't even recognize your voice.
I'm like, how?
I didn't recognize your voice. You like mellow right now. You like in mellow mode right now.
Yeah, you know, Shabbat, got my meal here.
Shalom, sis. How are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
Hallelujah. I'm good.
So, I mean, I just wanted to say it's really all about perspective.
Right.
In how you pass things on. I didn't, when I started doing law, my daughter was 9.
Right.
My oldest daughter was 9, and, you know, we didn't, as a family, we hadn't done Christmas like that in a long time. Like every year or two, it kind of got weaned down.
Right.
You know, just because we were growing, and we realized it was just an expensive endeavor. We just gathered, but I always used to love the smell of a Christmas tree, so I would have a real tree on, and that's it. Nothing under it,
right.
You know, just and the light.
Right.
And then when I started the first year, you know, because none of our cousins were born in law.
Right.
Because they were after her.
Right.
So it didn't bother her at all.
Right.
You know, so it was natural. It was a natural progression for us to move, and she understood that. It wasn't, she didn't feel like she missed out because, you know, we did, you ain't in the back as much, you did. but
even Sarah.
Yep, she fit in better with her family than, you know, with, you know, doing things in school or what have you. And it's, you know, when you sit down and explain it to them, and you do have to not make it like hardcore mandate, but a natural thing. This is what we do and why we do and why we don't do that. And, you know, if you're raising your children in the proper manner, basically they get it.
Right.
It's just, it's not what we do. It becomes more of a cultural thing. It's like anything else. People do things, they're from different islands or they're from different countries, and they just have, like you mentioned before, custom.
Right.
People just have custom.
And it's not something that we divulge in because of how we live. And when you raise your children in the book, they understand because they know where they come from. Like my older said, they might feel left out in the school because they are children, and despite them, because adults know wrong from right, and they get caught up.
Right.
So in school, they might feel that way, but you have to work with your children so that they open up, so that they can tell you, and then you can have that dialogue, so they, they don't feel away or try to sneak to their friend's house and get a little resistance and stuff. But when you keep things open and in perspective, some things just are.
Right.
There's outside of this season, there are things that you just can't do. We have to teach our kids. We have to teach our daughters. We had to teach our daughters growing up. You need to cover yourself when you go to school.
Right.
Why? Because that's what the Most High said. Some things just are.
Right.
And when you accept them, you're okay.
Right.
Some people have more money and they can do different things. Some people live here. Some things just are. And once you accept your life, you can then embrace it and find what's good in your life.
Okay.
And you just go from there.
From there. That's right.
Yep.
Torah says.
Okay, Adonai.
Hallelujah.
Shalom.
Shalom. That's Chief Prince Jeriel's sister, my sister Deborah, and what she brought is it's true. You don't if you narrow it down and they understand certain things, then it becomes part of our culture and they understand it. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something good. It's definitely something of that we need to look into. I mean, and the biggest thing is this, right? The biggest thing is that we need to understand that we need a community, like a school, like that makes it easier. Like I said, the Jewish people going to school on Xmas here in New York City. They don't play them games. You know what I mean? They first day of the week, they kids go to school on what we know as Sunday. As a day that we get off, they school buses are being picked up. We got Ima Havared here. Shalom, Ima. Shalom.
Oh, I didn't know you were on.
You gotta mute the computer. You gotta mute the computer in the background.
Oh, yeah, I did. Is it over? Is it down now?
Yup, it's down now. It's down. I can hear you clear.
Okay. Well, praise the Most High Yah, and thank Him for life, and I hope He be with us all, and He bless all of my brothers and sisters all over the world. And I just wanted to share my own personal experience real quick and my own personal viewpoints on what I personally do. Not saying that anybody is doing it right or wrong when it comes down to Hanukkah. For me, I personally don't do a really big celebration for Hanukkah, but I do prayers and put on some music, and it's kind of a solemn occasion for me personally because we don't have the temple anymore. And because we don't have the temple anymore, it's just not really a thing of celebration for me and my family. We do have a remembrance and everything, but I personally, we look back and we say, because of our ways, we're not at home and we don't have a temple, but we thank the Most High Yah for keeping us alive, for holding us up. And one day we will be back home and have a temple, but it's not that big celebration for us.
Right.
And when it comes down to giving gifts and things like that, of course, we try to do what we can throughout the year, especially when we know that there's a need or something, and that's cool. But more so like doing our feast days and things like that. There's no nothing saying that we can't give somebody joy in their lives. You know, we can't have celebrations and surprise folks and do things for them and do it up big, on those days, that we do have.
That's right.
That we celebrate. We got 7 days here for Matzah. We got another 7 days doing Sukkot.
Right.
And then when I talk fast.
Right. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. But then during the season of the New Year, I'm sorry, not the New Year, but the season of blowing the trumpet before Atonement comes, we also have an opportunity to be very generous to each other, according to what's written in Isaiah. We can be generous during those times. We can show our appreciation, party with each other and do those things up until Atonement. Help our poor, do all of that good stuff. So, that's just my personal, what I've gleaned from the Torah, out of my personal understanding. But we have plenty of opportunity to enjoy each other's company, to treat each other well, maybe put some programs in place to help out those who are in need so they can keep their dignity, those things. But, personally, if, I say, if you're in doubt, don't do it. I always say that.
That's right. That's right.
Don't do it.
That's right.
I'm telling y'all, don't
when
do
in doubt,
it.
do without. That's what our teachers used to tell us.
Because and then we can show the world and teach each other a better way of doing these things, where it is acceptable to the Most High, and and give our children a sense of unity and dignity, and amongst our people during all these other times. I mean, we having balls, we throwing big parties, and nobody's saying you can't be bringing gifts, you can't be doing, all of that good stuff. Throw your best on. Get that tuxedo out, Go on a diet, lose a few pounds, get that nice stuff out,
Right.
We call it bling bling, and people are like, "Ooh, what they doing? What's going on over there?"
Right.
And that's what we want. We want them being curious about us for a change instead of us always being curious about somebody else. So that's all I have to say, and thank you for letting me share my thoughts. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Ima. Hallelujah. So I think we pretty much covered this. I think most of us have the understanding of it, and we get it. It's a blessing. So now, somebody told me to have this discussion. Now I don't know how y'all gonna feel about this. Give me feedback, right? Somebody asked me to have this discussion, and y'all let me know. And I know the room is gonna light up when I put this question out. And maybe it's gonna be a topic next week, or maybe it's not, depending on how many people, depending on how y'all say what y'all say in the chat, and how y'all feel about this. Is there any? This is what I spoke to someone and they said this is a discussion that should be had and we should put out there. And maybe I could get two people to discuss it, right? Is there any time that is okay to have an abortion? I said it, the big word, the big A. Is there any time that is the right time to have an abortion? Might be the topic for next week, maybe not. Maybe if I could get two people to discuss it, depending on how y'all put it out here, how y'all say it, because I know it's gonna light up. I already know. I know us, and I know how it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna light up. I'm just waiting for the chat to go crazy. Nope. Okay now. So got no. I say no. Okay. Let's say. Nope. All right, so somebody said, you don't got to retract your statement. I mean, I want everybody to give their statement. I want everybody to... And I think that what Tamika Yevra put up there, that's hard, because what if someone got raped, right? How would a man feel if his wife got raped and out of the rape she conceived, right? It's murder according to Torah. What I say? I'm gonna leave my opinion out of this. And I want to hear what y'all got to say. Maybe I could get two people to discuss it. Or maybe I'll just, it'll be something that I'll just have a call-in segment and everybody just give their opinion on it, and they say how they feel on it. To be honest, I don't really, just being perfectly honest, I don't know how I really don't know how I would feel. You know what I mean? And maybe somebody could make me sway one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could sway me one way or the other. So I can't wait to this discussion according to Torah. Moradina. I don't mean to laugh. It's a serious situation, but Edna P. Personally no, but there are circumstances like rape and incest. Adoption if raped. Tavel. Why are you starting trouble in the nation, man? LOL. I'm not starting trouble. This is what somebody told me that I should put out there. And I just want to, I know people are convictedly strong on both sides, right? And I've seen where these conversations go. Tamar got raped by her brother. Chief Shama put up there. Antron Belly. Abortion goes against the Torah. It all depends if the doctor takes the baby to save the mother. All right. So in the instance, if a mother, her life could be at risk, 17 Crowlin said, if the doctor takes the baby to save the mother. It's a thought one in the case of rape. It's a tough one in the case of rape. Tamar Yisrael writes, Yemima, only Yah can judge Shama. Tamar will not have aborted if she got raped. Lucy Bryce, Elishadai. It's a hard discussion by Sheba. That's still a life. Rape or no rape, life begins at conception. Okay. Tavel, LOL. Tavel just getting a kick out of this because he know about this topic. This is one of those topics that you could get it on both sides, and it's jumping. They wanna have the discussion right now. We got time. It's only 8 o'clock. You don't got nothing to do. Let's open up the lines. Let's discuss it. Let's leave something for next week. Then we gonna run out of topics, you know. Now I have a really good friend that I had this discussion with before, and he was like, no, he's somebody that I really, really look up to, and he's like, no, just put that baby up for adoption. You can't do it. It's this, that, and the other. And I got another friend that's like, nah, you know, if a woman gets raped, or my wife got raped, or this, that, and the other, I don't want that baby. Got to take that baby out of there. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, so you got people on both sides that are really, really come hard on it. Mahogany Syndrome. Abortion is wrong no matter what. How the female got pregnant. Due to the fact that babies have no fault on how they come into this world. So this shouldn't be punished. B'Shem Yisrael, the Most High gives life and he takes life. We must not try to take God's place, role, function. Okay. Shamel Azar, if Tamar would have got pregnant, she wouldn't have aborted the child. Dr. Mann, Yah is the creator of life and is the only one to choose death or life. Okay, more Dina Yisrael. Your feelings are an important Torah. Set the time and place throughout the week. Raquel died giving birth. Moradina Yisrael, nah, we need 4 to 5 hours for this. Shabbat, your feeling don't count when we are dealing with the laws. All right, so we're going to leave this discussion for next week. Now, this is what I'm going to do. Maybe if I could get I'm going to make this a call-in discussion, right? I'm going to try to get all the points. It's really... All right. We're going to figure something out, but next week, we're going to discuss this subject next week. Maybe if I could get somebody to come in and discuss and give they framework on both. If you, all right, this is my number, 347-622-9090, 347-622-9090. Next week, I'm going to give each one of you an opportunity. If I get 2 people, 3 people, text me, tell me that you want to discuss it on either side, right? And then I'll get the maybe 1 on each side, maybe 2 on each side. You discuss it. She said, you drop a bomb like this and want to dip. In my opinion, be fruitful and multiply does not include rape. Ooh, I think I got a strong candidate for I think I got Ima Havared, and she knows how to argue points. So maybe I could get her on one side. Maybe I could get Ima Havared on one side. I don't know. Eartha Kitt was a produce or product of rape, and she became a famous singer and dancer. What if? I never knew that she was a product of rape. I never knew that. Very interesting. So I got everybody riled up. Everybody going crazy. Let me see. It's a lot of situations you can't speak for the person who has to hold that baby with the experience that they went through. Okay, I can do both sides. I know you can do both sides, Moradina. I know you can. I know you got arguments for both sides. That's how your brain is wired. You could argue on both sides. So bring all your points next week. We're gonna open up this discussion, and we're gonna try to get down to the point of Torah, and we're gonna try to just discuss it, right? We're gonna try to discuss it and try to see exactly what is it that this topic. This topic is a very, very it's a touchy one. It's a touchy one. So I knew it would light up the room, but it is what it is. Once again, Todah Yah for our lives. I'm giving y'all a week to get all your material. I know what Chief Shama stands. He was the first one to answer no. It's murder, right? And then it came down murder. Then somebody said, but what if a woman gets raped? That's Yevra, right? She said, what if a woman gets raped? And then it came down again. So you got a lot of no's, and you got about 3 or 4 people, Tamar. It's like, what if another person said, what if the woman is going to die, This is trouble. Tavel is like, this is trouble. So Tavel is arguing it from both sides, right? Tavel is arguing it from both sides. So anybody who's arguing it from both sides, they're conflicted, right? They're conflicted. Somebody like Morey Tavel, he's conflicted. You know what I mean? Because he sees it from both sides. You know. But I like my brother Shama because he's just standing on one side. He firm on one side. Moradina, she's against it, but she could argue it from both sides. You know what I mean? So, but my brother Morey Tavel, he's conflicted. I could see it from his answers. Gareth Yerusha, she is on the side of if a woman gets raped. I could see just from the answers how everybody is swinging. Tavel is just Morey Tavel know that this is a rabbit hole of a topic. You know, so he don't want to go down that rabbit hole because he know where it's going to lead to. This is almost as this topic goes almost as long as the polygyny topic. You know, this is one of those topics. And Moradina, she just could argue both sides. She could really argue both sides. And be and on both sides make very much sense. So, and Ima Havared, she could. All right. So one side is the pro. Which side would be the pro side? Would be the abortion side. Would be the pro side, and the con side would be the no abortion, right? So I'll have to figure it out. Tamar is not conflicted. Tamar is saying, I know Tamar, she's going to say yes if something happens to a woman. I know she's saying she's conflicted, but she's not. The emotional and mental issues that come with it. You want to know how you could prove what by Torah? How you could prove what by Torah? I don't understand what. All right, here's an example, right? All right, here's an example. If a woman is found out to have committed adultery, right? And her husband gets the spirit of jealousy. But in her committing adultery, right? In her committing adultery, she got pregnant by the man she committed adultery with. I'm just messing with y'all's minds, right? So she got pregnant. So, but her husband don't get the spirit of jealousy till like 3 to 4 months into her being pregnant, right? So they take her to the judge, and take her to the judge. They make her drink the waters of the waters with the dirt from the temple and stuff like that from the bottom of the tent. The bitter waters or the bitter waters, and then in that her thighs begins to rot. Her belly begins to swell. And then she dies. Do you wait for that baby to be born, or do you kill her, right? Or do she die before the baby is born? And if she dies, the baby dies. So would that be a form of the baby being aborted or the baby being killed? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. You let me know. But I put one out there. I put a little bait out there. Just something for us to think of. But if she dies, the baby is dying too. Why don't they wait for the baby to be born? If it's about a life and preserving a life, why don't they wait for the baby to be born and then kill her? Yeah, it's not a form of abortion, but it's a form of. But I'm not on no side or the other. It's just a little something I threw out there. Maybe y'all could build on that point, right? Maybe you could build on that point. So on that note, as y'all are getting upset and I'm a troublemaker and I'm wrong for starting this subject and not finishing it and and no matter what, and as Naya is coming in because she just tuned in, right? Because somebody called her about this topic and she just getting in. Nope, baby is an abortion. Moradina said, no, the baby is an abortion. Okay. You keep on baiting us up and then you're going to say you got to go. Little toe. Let me see right here, Igdalia. Baby is a bastard. Right? The baby will certainly be a bastard. Oh boy, here we go. Sister Lahava, she can't let this topic go. All right, Imo Lahava, I said next week, but I guess you got something to say about it today.
Oh, I had turned on my volume. I'm sorry. Shabbat Shalom, Chief Hussein. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shabbat.
With the scenario that you just put out, did he know, or he just had the spirit of jealousy came upon him? Whether she committed adultery or he
no, when the spirit of jealousy come up on you, you don't know. It's just a spirit comes up on you, right?
Right. So
the spirit of jealousy basically is a spirit that comes on you. You have a suspicion, but you haven't witnessed anything. So what you do is you bring your wife to the priest,
right,
to the tender meeting, to the temple, whatever it is, and they make her drink this water of bitterness or whatever. She has to unwrap her head, let her hair loose, right? She has to stand before the priest, and he says this blessing before her. She drinks this water of bitterness, and if the baby is
but she knows, he doesn't know. So she's the one who's doing whatever.
No, but he doesn't know.
Because she's going to drink it, but she knows. But he didn't know. He just had the spirit of jealousy.
He had the spirit of jealousy.
He felt guilty and he didn't know that she did what she did. He just had a feeling, like you said.
Yeah, it's just a feeling.
Right. So is not that upon her?
Yeah, it's on her.
Yeah,
but no.
Because she knew that she did the dirt. So
right.
She's drinking it, but he didn't know. He just had the feeling.
He had the feeling. No,
but
this.
drink it anyway, because I think you had a choice to drink it or not. They don't.
No, I don't think you knew what was the topic.
I can't remember.
No.
But
the topic that we would.
If she did something and so forth, and if she didn't, she would have children. But I can't remember that part.
Yeah, but Ima, we were discussing. The question I put out on the floor was, at any point is there any instance where an abortion is okay? Right?
I don't think so. And from rape, they had some people turn out to be excellent, but the parent don't want anything to do with them and so forth.
Right.
But I don't think that's okay. But they have cases where people are going through cancer and they have to take treatment. So shouldn't they take the treatment? Because if they take the treatment, definitely the baby might die. So what about that?
Good point.
And if they don't, the mother could die. So what you're supposed to do?
So you brought another good scenario. So you saying there's some people that have cancer while they're pregnant.
Yeah, and I hear that all the time. Some people don't, and fortunately for them, they come out okay.
Right.
But some people, they end up dying. Not people that I know personally, but you hear that in the world, you know.
Right,
because
right.
they have a choice whether to take the treatment, and you know the treatment could be real serious. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's another scenario.
There go another scenario, brothers and sisters, but I think that's a little bit more different than what we're discussing, but that's a very good point.
But if you know you're pregnant and you take the treatment, it's not an abortion, but it's still
you're making a choice. You're making a choice. You're saying, nah, you're right. You're making a choice. Either I go for this treatment and get rid of this baby, abort this baby.
And you're not doing anything to the baby, but the treatment could kill the baby.
But the treatment could kill the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my.
Okay, Garrett.
All right, dear.
All right, shalom. People got, so Kawa said, my aunt waited till the child was born and then let them give her chemo. Everything turned out fine. I think God honored her decision. All right, great. That also, it depends on what stage the cancer is in also, Moradina is, I can't wait. A bastard means a legitimate child. Illegitimate means born of parents not married to each other, not sanctioned by the laws of the Most High. Yep, indirectly. So here we go. Man, you see, I wanted to keep this discussion for next week, but the people is calling. My brother, boy. Shalom, Chief.
Shalom. Just want to drop a small jewelry on the house of Israel, I will bid all my brothers and sisters a happy Shabbat. So, a peaceful Shabbat.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Can you hear me out?
I hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah, so, when Isaac, right?
Uh-huh.
So, there's a prophet that the Most High spoke to before that said, Israel is always open for strife and debate.
Right.
And there is something to me that says that it's not something that he looks down favorable upon,
Right.
So certain things, as Israel, we should move away from when we know it doesn't favor the Most High. So a lot of times when, things are going to be up for strife and debate, we don't want to have the Most High look down upon us unfavorably, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, my brother.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So, on that note, I'm going to leave this discussion there. And let's see. Next week, we'll see what y'all talking about. All right? May the Most High God bless each and every one of you. And, yeah, that's Chief BINAH. That's definitely him. And with that, hope you got something out of today. We stayed almost on for 2 hours. We stayed almost on for 2 hours. It was a good day. It was a good bill. Y'all came up with a lot of stuff. And hoping and praying that the Most High God will continue to bless and keep you, protect you, and be with you all. And praying that Yahuwah will continue to guide us all. May everybody have a good night's sleep. I hear you, Shama. I'm wrong. Everybody have a good night's sleep. See y'all again in the AM. May the Most High God bless and keep you. Don't forget to share to your different platforms. Let everybody join the discussion. Let everybody know what we were talking about. Share it to Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff that you shared to. Shalom, shalom, and may the Most High God bless us all. Hallelujah.